Today I'm going to be interviewing a longtime friend of mine, a fitness guru. He dropped some awesome information that can help you through this pandemic. Please, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Hello, this is Miguel Rosario. I'm with Rosario Real Estate, powered by Century 21 Top Realty. Today is April 17th, 2020, and I'm interviewing Brandon Cole, the owner, the founder of BK Fitness. I've known Brandon for many years. Let me have him introduce himself.
Yeah, so Brandon K. Cole. I have a few business names. I am BKC Fitness and Flexibility. Also have an assisted stretching and therapy business called Stretch Therapy HTX. And I do personal training also, so I kind of operate under those two brands mostly. But do a range of things: fitness training in person, diet coaching in person, and recently transitioning a lot of the stuff online, but we can talk about that later.
All right, Brandon. Sounds great. Let me ask you. I know this, but I know there's some of my clients who don't know who you are. But how did you get into the business?
So I started in the fitness industry in 2008, and exercise and fitness and really just the science of the human body has always been an interest of mine. Even since I was a kid, I loved learning about the human body, the brain. So I decided to take it professionally in 2008 when I was in between jobs. I applied for a corporate gym position and kind of moved up from there. And I worked there for 3 years, I believe, 3 or 4 years, and then went independent in 2012. And I've been doing this on my own ever since. But it just allows me to combine a lot of my passions, which are working with people directly, and then also trying to improve the quality of their life. And it gives me an outlet to educate. That's really my favorite thing about this. I get to continue my learning. I love learning about this stuff. You never know everything. So I like learning, and I like relaying that to as many people as possible. So it's really come from my objective to help people take what I know and then try and improve other people's lives.
All right, B. That's let me ask you, B. In your business, what do you specialize in?
I guess you could say I really specialize in therapy, rehab, sports injuries. I train clients for general fitness, obviously, the body composition goals like increase muscle, decrease fat, just improve your health. But right after training, I started getting into more of the manual therapy side. Really, like the second year, I took my first manual therapy certification via Stretch to Win Institute. And so that's been for about 10 years now. I've been focusing a lot on helping people with sports injuries, chronic pain issues. So I use a lot of hands-on and hands-off techniques to help improve people's movements and try and get them out of pain. So I guess my specialty is really just, working with people that have an injury or an issue they're trying to improve so they can get back to their activity, whether it's exercising or playing a sport. So I've worked with athletes, professional athletes, recreational athletes. So that's really my demographic that I deal with on the therapy side.
All right. And what sets you apart from your competition? Because I'm sure you're not the only person in the business that does this. What makes you special? What sets you apart from your competition?
If I would say anything, it's probably my range of education. So because, like I said, I like learning about this stuff, I like to learn about as many different topics as possible. So I'm not just like a muscle building guy. I'm not just like a fat loss guy. I like learning about metabolism. I like learning about diet and nutrition, psychology, behavior psychology. So I combine a lot of different trainings, a lot of different sources of education into my method. So say a client comes into me and, they have chronic knee pain. I'm not really just looking at it, what's wrong with your knee? I could ask them how their sleep schedule is. What are they eating? Are they dealing with stresses that they're maybe not thinking could be tied to this? Let's assess how you move. Maybe you just have or movement mechanics when you're doing things, we can clean that up. So because I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money on my education, probably I'd guess $50,000 to $70,000 just in trainings that I've taken, and I don't know how many hours. So I combine a lot of information to help read a whole person and not just get too myopic and like how I see things, how I see a person. So I can take from a lot of sources to assess and then, correct whatever we need to improve them.
Look at that. That's awesome, B. You're sorry. That's awesome, Brandon. And especially during this pandemic that we're in the middle of, it seems like all these businesses are affected. That my business has been personally affected as well. We've just seen a bit of a slowdown, and people are concerned about the pandemic that's happening. How has this affected your business?
Yeah, obviously, gyms closed. I think it was the third week in March. They've been closed ever since. So I would just say like my revenue and sessions are down 80 to 90% from what it was pre outbreak. Mm-hmm. So that is something that I expect to bounce back. Obviously, once gyms are reopened and people feel comfortable going outside, depending on what the regulations that are going to come down from the government are going to stipulate going forward, it's definitely just been a drop off in my session count. But I still have, I've kind of changed how I interact with clients, and we can talk about that later. But yeah, it's mostly just been a huge drop in the hours that I'm putting in, both like in-person training or somebody comes in my therapy business. So it's just been a big revenue and big time drop as far as sessions.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that there is this 6-foot rule, and you're such a hands-on trainer that we just can't be around our clients as nearly as close as we once were. So with that in mind, how are you actually adapting your business to help your clients out?
So I'm continuing to train a few people. We're doing it outside, which obviously gives us a lot of space to keep distance. We're being extra mindful of sanitation practices, wiping the equipment that I use down. I'm using my own equipment, so I know it's clean and, there's low traffic usage. I'm also transitioning a lot of what I do with the diet coaching and the training to an online format. So I'm now taking in clients to create their workout program or their diet program. So I can do a lot of the same stuff that I do in person and just actually have them interact via an online format. So it's good because it opens me up to working with people that aren't just in my zip code. So now I can work with somebody in a different state or even different country, and they can get the same experience and expertise and level of coaching that I offer to in-person people, but just via their computer. So I've taken a lot of my stuff and tried to apply it more to an online or distance setting. I started doing we're doing Zoom training sessions, but right now the workouts and the diet is just an online platform. So it's not any face-to-face time.
Okay. Yeah. That was actually one of my questions of how do you have an online presence, or is there something that you're able to provide for your clients online so that at least they can continue with some sort of routine, or you're able to help them out and help them in their either, I guess, fitness goals or recovering from their injuries. So,
yeah, exactly.
I know I had this issue, especially right around when the first pandemic, when they first started the stay-at-home order. It's getting motivated. I was essentially unmotivated for a week or so, where we just sat around. How do you get your clients motivated during this pandemic to get out and exercise and continue on with their goals?
Yeah, it's a big one for everybody. You know, once your normal routine is disrupted, it's hard to find a new routine. And especially, you know, you having a family, being at home, there's a lot of distractions. Like you may have in your mind, I'm going to block off this time to exercise, but oh, your kid runs in and they need attention. So it is extra hard for parents and for anybody right now because your normal spaces where you do things are taken away. So everything is condensed into one location and it's not as smooth, but I'm fortunate. My training clients that I work with are highly motivated on their own. I don't need to provide that. They really just want the outlet. So they've baked in the habit of exercise into their life. But for most people, it's not that easy. So what I tell people is just to think outside the box. So don't get so rigid with your thinking that, say, exercise or fitness has to happen in a block of time. So say, I need an hour to work out and I need to do this many exercises. And that's not realistic in this environment. It's really just about being mindful of being up and moving. You can do a few exercises throughout the day. So people don't think that it makes a difference, but it does. Say maybe once every hour, you just do 20 body weight squats and 10 push-ups. And if you do that throughout the day, that will kind of add up to a full exercise session. But your body doesn't really care if you do it all at once or if you do it throughout the day. It's really just about getting the work done and creating the consistent habit. And because it's easy to let your day get away from you if you think that everything has to be like sectioned off, because just so much stuff is uncontrollable right now. But if you just say, oh, I've got 10 minutes, all right, let me do a few exercises. I can do a couple of planks, I can do a few push-ups, and that will start to add up. And then that creates the motivation. Motivation actually comes after routine. A lot of people think you have to be motivated to do something, but motivation comes and goes, and it's never going to be always there. So you have to work ahead of the motivation. Motivation kind of follows the habit.
Right. And that actually leads into just a bit of my next question. It is you mentioned just doing minor stuff day by day. One of the questions or one of the issues that I could see somebody coming up with, or an excuse, is saying, hey, look, I don't have any gym equipment. So what do you, I don't have any weights. I don't have a treadmill. I don't have a bunch of, I don't have. So what is there, do we need these expensive gym equipment to truly get in shape or to stay active?
Absolutely not. I mean, that is the crazy thing, is when this all happened, exercise equipment was one of the first things to go. Like, exercise equipment on Amazon and every shopping place was just cleaned out the first couple of days. So people were obviously, thinking that you need this to maintain, but you're not going to get in the best shape of your life without equipment. It definitely helps to have some dumbbells or something, but you can definitely maintain and stay healthy and fit with just your body weight. And you can, again, get creative with the stuff around you. So, if you have a heavy backpack, you can load a whole bunch of books there. You can do stuff like back rows or overhead press. You can take one of your kids and just throw them up in the air a few times. That's going to be fun for them. But really, if you just know how to use your own body weight, you just need some space and a floor. You don't need some giant set of equipment. And most of the time, even when I'm in the gym, I don't use many things. I stick to free weights. I'm fortunate that, I've accumulated a bunch of stuff. But if you get creative with how you move your body, and there's an infinite amount of ways that you can move your body that you may not have explored, you're going to be improving your fitness. You're going to be improving your joints and muscle health. A lot of people get too fixed in their mindset, thinking that they have to do a bench press, a leg press. It just becomes routine, and it's kind of boring. But people think that that's their fitness. But if you get creative and you get a little novel with your movement, your brain actually likes that even more, and your body can respond a lot more favorably than people think.
One of the things that we do, or I should say I do, I have a almost 2-year-old here at the house, and we do baby curls. And so I have him in my arms, and I lift him up and bite his belly, and he giggles and wiggles, and he goes back down. And so we do it again. So I don't ever see it as oh, I'm exercising. I just see it more we're playing with my son. But it is. I guess it. You know what? I'm gonna count it on my goal chart. I exercised today. I did baby curls.
Count those reps. No, it's. I mean, the interesting thing about that, we don't classify it as exercise because it's a category in our brain that we've made. Exercise happens when you're doing this or when you're in this location, but your brain and your body and your muscles don't know that. Your muscles just know that it's doing a curl. It's doing the exact same movement as if you were holding a bar or some dumbbells. And there's actually an extra benefit to this playtime. Like you're enjoying it. There's lots of parts of your brain that are lighting up that are stimulated by the fact that you're enjoying this activity. Your muscles are getting the same benefit because it is kind of exercise, but your brain is actually getting more of a benefit because you're enjoying the time. And that's the other stuff that I really studied, is trying to understand the brain, the anatomy, and how does it work and what can you do to improve it. And activities like that are actually super beneficial for brain health.
Yeah. A bit of a pivot here, Brandon.
You just call it me. You're still alive. You got seniority.
It's stuck in the brain, years and years, and Brandon Cole is B. Yeah. Everybody knows you as B. So, yeah. Like I was saying, a bit of a pivot. What is FST, and what does FST do for you?
So it stands for Fascial Stretch Therapy, and that's the certification I mentioned that I took in 2010. It's an assisted stretching technique that's done on a massage table. It involves like gentle straps also. So say somebody comes in and maybe they don't even have a pain issue. They just feel tight, or they feel restricted, or they just, feel like something is kind of lacking. Based on assessments that I'm doing, I'm going to mobilize and stretch them in specific ways. And it's very gentle, very passive. A lot of people have had bad experiences with stretching, whether on their own or if, say, a trainer has stretched them. And it's usually been way too aggressive. It's painful, intense. They think that that's what has to happen to get a benefit, but actually it couldn't be further from the truth. If it's painful, you're not doing anything good for yourself. So it's very gentle, very relaxing, but it is therapeutic. And a lot of people do it just because it feels nice. It's kind of like I tell people it's like getting a massage, but instead of pressing, I'm gently pulling. But a lot of people, I'd probably say 50 to 60% of the people are asleep by the time I'm done for an hour session. So it's obviously relaxing, but there's, like I said, a physical benefit to it too. But I learned from the people that created it. So Chris and Ann Frederick are the creators of the technique. Flew out to Arizona a few times. I've taken all of their advanced training, so I'm level 3. And yeah, like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years, and it's kind of funny because when I started doing it in 2010, I would tell people that I was stretching people, and they're like, "Oh, okay." Like at the end of a training session, I'm like, "No, I do a full hour." People look at me like, "What? You do it for an hour?" But now, assisted stretching is blowing up in popularity. So there's a lot of assisted stretching chains that are opening up. I'm sure a lot of people have driven by them. So I like to tell people I was doing it before it was cool. So I've got a lot of experience under my belt. But so I really enjoy it. Class enjoy it. But
yeah. So when this pandemic is over, so I'm assuming that this will help you in your daily life and just movement. So when the pandemic is over, give Brandon a call and we can set up he can set y'all up on a schedule or put y'all in the client book to get y'all going. What online support are y'all providing, or what online support do you provide for your clients?
So you mentioned before we got on camera that you've been seeing my emails or the postings. So for the stretching, I've been sending weekly or almost weekly. I'm not so great at maintaining the schedule, but a series of stretches that people can do at home, relieve muscle tension or just get your body moving, just improve the circulation and the movement of your joints. So I've been sending semi-regular emails to people and then posting them on Facebook and Instagram of stuff that people can do at home. Doesn't require any equipment. It's just something that a few positions you can do and you'll just immediately feel better. Like I said, for the Diet and exercise, I'm doing online programs for that. So some of my training clients are doing that in the meantime. I'm also enrolling new clients just in the online format. So even if I don't see them in person, they can become an online client and get the same information and same programs I would offer my in-person clients. So I've been wanting to transition to more of an online format for a while. This has given me both the reason and the time to put more energy into that. So I'm actually kind of grateful for this downtime because it's allowed me to push my business into a direction that I've wanted to for a while anyway.
You know what? I see the same thing that I've been for a long time been really wanting to become a video agent, and you know what? It's fortunate and unfortunate that I have the time to do it. So it's I completely understand with the circumstances, just trying to make it as best as we can, and just pivoting our business and moving forward. With regards to new clients. What are some of the common problems that you see with new clients that see themselves of, oh, you know what, I'm a little overweight or a little out of shape, or it hurts when I walk, or something like what are some of the common problems that you see when you're starting with a new client and getting them going?
That's a tough one. It depends on what level of condition or health they're in when they come. A lot of people, I mean, everybody's biggest drawback is how we eat. So if somebody wants to change their body, like gain muscle, lose fat, exercise is definitely an important component, and is a huge component for improving your health, which, you know, I always joke that if exercise only improved people's health and had no effect on physical appearance, the gyms would be empty. So fortunately, you know, exercise improves a person's appearance, but also their health. But I think the things that most people overlook when they're trying to either get in shape or just improve, even get out of pain, is getting their sleep schedule under control and trying to improve their diet, but not in a very restrictive, extreme way. Maybe you're just eating too much, but you're not eating very nutritious food. So looking how somebody can eat better, not just cutting calories, but maybe including some more protein or vegetables in what you're already eating, making little changes that don't seem like a change. And then, like I said, improving somebody's sleep schedule. If I could get everybody to do one thing, I would get them to focus on their sleep, because that has an immeasurable effect on your mental health, your physical health, pain, just every aspect you can think of. Sleep is at the base of the pyramid. If you don't have that under control, everything else is going to be, you know, kind of, it's not going to help as much.
So sleeping 6 hours a night and eating pizza and beer all the time is not good for you?
Every once in a while. Yeah, every once in a while, it's okay.
Yeah. This is awesome. Let me ask a couple of personal questions. What actually motivates you? What is it? What is Brandon's why of he's getting up and going forward? What is your motivation?
I'm just trying to give my dogs a good life, to be honest. You know, I've got 2 dogs, and I just want them to have a big yard to play in. But no, I'm only half joking, kind of serious. But no, I mean, I'm fortunate to do something with my occupation that I really enjoy. Like I said, I love the learning aspect. I love teaching. What motivates me to continue growing is that I want to expand how many people I can help. Because right now, most of the people I help is in person. So that's obviously limited to how many people are in my geographical region, how many people know about me. But I want to take what I know and what I'm learning and just expand that to, you know, thousands or even millions of people, so that I can help improve a lot more people's effects. So I guess, as cliche as it sounds, I just want to make a positive impact on as many people as possible. But I like taking and teaching, and that's what really motivates me, and that's why I've continued doing this for so long.
All right. Let's move into a bit of a lightning round. Just quick, easy. one or two word answers, and we'll just pound through a couple of questions.
All right, this will be fun.
First off, foremost, the most important thing, what is your favorite thing to binge watch during the pandemic?
I actually haven't been watching much TV. I just recently resubscribed to Netflix after I was boycotting it for a few months, but I re-signed up during this, and I blew through season 3 of Ozark. That's one of my favorite shows. I haven't watched anything else. I know everybody's talking about Tiger King. I'm always, when somebody's talking, a whole lot of people are talking about something, I try to avoid it because I'm like, can't be that good. But I'll probably eventually dive into it. But recently it's just been Ozark, and then I've got Disney Plus, so I've been rewatching a lot of the Marvel movies like a nerd, but that's pretty much it.
I'm nerding it up with you. Ozark's on my list, and Tiger King, I'm only an episode in.
Okay.
So trust me, I don't think you're missing much, but if I'm wrong, I know people are loving it. But
yeah, it's got to be something to it.
Yeah. What is the dumbest thing you've done during the pandemic? Like, for an example, me, I tried to put tint on my car, and I horribly messed it up. Oh.
You are industrious, but man, I can't think of anything, honestly. I've tried to really be as productive with this time as possible. That's why I haven't really had much downtime to watch TV shows and stuff. Probably something I ate. I don't know. I can't think. Or maybe drank maybe too much tequila one night. Yeah, nothing really sticks out.
Have you tried anything new?
I've been taking a lot of webinars online, some educational courses. Again, it's not a really fun answer. I haven't done anything too exciting. No, just a lot of dog park visits. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much been the majority of my day.
What is your favorite app on your phone?
Well, if it goes by most used, it'd be Instagram. I'm probably way too compulsive with how many times I open that app throughout the day. It's insane. I always question myself after I open it. I was like, why? I just opened it like 30 seconds ago. I closed it and I opened it again. It's like on the refrigerator. I'm like, all right, has anything changed in there? Nope. Yeah, Instagram is definitely my most used by far.
What is one of Brandon's guilty pleasures?
I don't know how much guilt I have in it, but I do love tequila. You know that. I'm a big tequila fan. I don't really feel any guilt about it, but I guess it's something as a fitness professional I probably shouldn't admit to loving, but love me some tequila.
We all have got to have that cheat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what is your preferred home? Do you want a high-rise, a condo, a townhome, or just a traditional ranch, or even a farm?
You know, when I'm growing up, I always loved the idea of being in a high-rise. Like, I would visualize myself in a high-rise and being able to look over the city and having this very modern look and furniture. But since I have two crazy big dogs, that's probably out of the question right now. So I'm leaning more towards a really nice townhome, new development, or just a big house with a big yard. You know, like I said, give them some space to run around. Some of my clients that have a lot of yards, they're trying to talk me out of it. They're like, oh, you do really want to maintain it? Since I've never owned a house, I'm like, I guess I could just hire somebody. But I'm leaning definitely towards a house with a nice sized yard or a townhome.
All right. What is your favorite part of Houston? The area or the neighborhood? What's your favorite part?
My current neighborhood, the Heights. I love the Heights. It's almost like its own little city. Everybody's very active here. I'm right off the White Oak Bayou, so there's always people running and bicycling. It has its own culture and personality, and of course, there's a lot of social things to do here. So I love this neighborhood, and I'd really like to stay here.
All right. During a zombie apocalypse, this one's important. During a zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon that you carry, and why?
I would say a giant machete, because that's going to be infinite. I know crossbows are popular, but, you got to always get ammo. Plus, I'm not proficient with a crossbow, but I think you can't go wrong with a giant machete or an axe, something that you can swing. you know, 'cause you're going to eventually run out of ammo with guns. So I need something that's going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Be like Michonne from Walking Dead.
Yes. And really important question that I've thought about it and it boggles my mind. Why do you think everybody bought up the toilet paper during the pandemic?
I have no idea. And that's something that I was wondering yesterday with a client, because I don't know anybody that's admitting to buying toilet paper. Everybody I've encountered is asking the same question. So either everybody's lying and they're secretly buying and then saying, why is the toilet paper gone? Or there's just some people that I apparently don't encounter, and for whatever reason, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. It's a mystery. Hopefully we'll have that solved.
I was going to say, if you turn the camera that way, there's like a big pile of toilet paper.
It's you. It's you.
No. What has been your most influential book that has affected you personally, or affected you personally? Because I'll ask you about a business book, but you personally, what is the book that you've read that has affected your life the most?
There's a couple of them. Think and Grow Rich was one that I tell everybody to read. And I always put off reading it because the title always pushed me off. I'm like, okay, I don't want to read a book about just getting rich. But once you read it, you know exactly what I mean. So it's one of the most powerful books I've read. I've read it multiple times, and every time I read it, I learned something new. And then the other one is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. That was a powerful book. When I first started reading it, I was like, I'm not really impressed, but at least once a week, I am reminded of one of the habits. And there's a couple of them, just a couple of specific habits that always stick in my mind, and I try to really live that. Like, one is basically listen before you talk. So I think it's think first to understand, then be understood. And that's an important one, because I know, especially these days in dialogue and debate, people are just shouting. They don't want to hear the other person. But if you take time to really try to understand the person that you're talking to, it makes the interaction a lot better. So those are two definitely my all-time favorites.
Absolutely. I love both of those books. I've read them multiple times, and they are really, really good books. What is your most influential business book? I know those are kind of business minded, or is there something outside of those that you can think of?
I haven't really read many business books. There's one book, it's just really for the general population, but I liked it because it's about the fitness industry, and it's science-based, and it answers a lot of questions that I think a lot of people have. It's called Which Comes First, Cardio or Weights, something like that. And it's basically a book of like every little question that you can think of about exercise and diet. The author goes into the scientific answer for it. So it's an easy read, it's a fun read, but it's very informational too. And it kind of takes all the myths out and then gives you just hard science. And then sometimes it'll tell you, like, we just don't know. But I think that's a good book. I don't know if it's really considered business, but it's kind of about my industry.
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Ooh. Well, if you'll talk to people that know me, I'm not very good at taking advice. Some people call me a little hard-headed.
No, you don't say B. No.
So that's kind of tough, because if somebody says something, I'll probably not let it sink in until months or even years later. So I can't think of any piece of advice, but as you know, it's kind of hard for people to get through to me sometimes. So Well,
maybe think of it as what's the best piece of advice that you can give to somebody?
Take a minute to breathe a few times a day. That'll help get you out of your current mindset. You know, we get trapped in these mental loops. We get overly stressed. We're running through these cycles and routines that we don't realize. But if you take a moment, it doesn't have to be meditation or anything, although I do advise it. Just take a few times throughout the day to stop, sit down, focus on your breath, do a specific breathing technique that I recommend usually for clients. But it can make a world of difference in how you feel mentally and physically throughout the day.
All right, that's a good one, and I know I have an issue with that, where stepping back and just breathing and taking it all in. Um, what is your passion? What I know you love fitness, and but do you have a passion outside of your business?
Mm, no, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm doing my passion, which I said is learning and educating. That's I like to learn about a lot of stuff, and I like to try and apply that and then teach other people. So that's it's not just in the fitness industry or fitness realm. I just like learning and teaching. That's really the stuff that I'm the most interested in. And it's kind of what I do professionally, but that's what I try and do a lot, even personally.
Yeah, no, that when writing up that question, writing up these questions, I'm thinking about myself on my own personal passions, and it's hard for me to, okay, what is my passion? Real estate, but it's hard to say that. Okay, outside of real estate, it probably would be the next closest thing would be the family.
Mm.
So, Joanna, I love you. No.
You knew she was going to watch this, so it's like, obviously.
Yeah. Um, and what are some of the positives that you see in our current situation? It's hard to look at where we are and and understand that, yes, it's tough and it's hard and it's stressful and everybody's dealing with something different, but through this there has to be some sort of positive that can be gained from this. What do you see as a great takeaway from this?
Personally, it's like I mentioned earlier, giving me time to really reevaluate what I'm doing. How can I progress into a way that's going to kind of future proof me against anything like this in the future? The other thing I've noticed that's a real positive is that I've seen a community come together, because obviously a lot of small businesses like mine and every business out there is hurting because customers are gone, clients are gone, revenue is just basically evaporated. But despite everybody kind of struggling personally, I see a lot of other businesses and other people being supportive. The gym that I train at, called Facet 7 in the Heights, as soon as this happened, they knew they had to close down. But what they did to support their neighborhood and their community and the trainers is they had a free equipment rental service. So this is huge because obviously nobody can get a hold of exercise equipment right now. But they did it as a courtesy to the members and the trainers. They rented their stuff out free of charge, so people could rent dumbbells and kettlebells and all that stuff. Just had to be a member. And then another one of my friends who just opened his gym right before this happened, he's actually doing small business shout outs on his Instagram. So kind of like what you're doing, trying to show that other businesses, just putting them in the spotlight, even if they're not able to do business right now, just putting them out there so people are aware. So I like what you're doing, and what these other businesses, individuals are doing is they're thinking about everybody, not just themselves. So I really like that.
Yeah, yeah. I work in a service industry. You work in a service industry, and if we're not here to help our clients, then we're doing the wrong thing. So, and with regards to getting out of this pandemic, getting back to normal, how do you see businesses? How is your business gonna adapt moving forward?
Like I said, I'm really going to try and transition to an online model. So pushing the programs, the diet and the workout programs, eventually going to kind of like a Zoom-based model, like what we're doing. I'm working on so one of the other positives about this downtime is it kind of gave me the time and the inspiration for a totally new business idea. So I'm starting to work on that right now. And I think that will, because of how this pandemic is pushing everybody to be more online focused on like how a person is interacting with people, I think there's a way to take advantage of that and connect a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise be connected. So that's a new idea that I came up with. I'm really excited about. I'm just in the early stages of development. But I think also just in the fitness industry, hopefully it just makes people more mindful of cleanliness and sanitation. sure we all know those people that go to the gym and they just leave a stain of sweat or equipment laying around. People just are generally not mindful of their surroundings, and hopefully that will improve.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Joanna and I were talking about was why did all the hand sanitizer go and all the cleaning supplies, were they just not cleaning before? And so, yes, it's sanitation in the future. I do 100% agree that sanitation is going to be a huge thing coming out of this. And then, are y'all running any pandemic specials, or is there any special promotions, or whenever you do get back to working at full force, being able to be within 6 feet of somebody, is there anything special that y'all are planning that's coming up or that you're going right now?
Yeah, for the stretching, the therapy business, right now all gift cards are 30% off. So, a person can buy a gift card for themselves or somebody else, and the gift cards are available on the website. People can purchase whatever number, but those are 30% off. So you're getting 30% off of basically the cost of a session or a package. The online workout programs, I've cut the price 50%. So I have month-to-month options, 6-month or 12-month. And all three of those pricing options are reduced by 50%. So if you go to the website, the 50% discount's already represented. Same thing with the online diet program. It's a different website, but that is normally so much per month. And that actually includes some face-to-face, well, via Zoom, but some communication. That's also discounted 50% right now. So everything is discounted. Obviously, people need the financial help and could use the discounts, but it's also a good time for people to kind of get into some of this stuff, take advantage of the discount, and then it's locked in. So once everything clears up, they'll still have that discounted price.
That is awesome. You're always helping people. It just is what you do. You, through the years, you have been the giver. You've been out there trying to help, trying to teach, and your business is a reflection of it. You've blown up. You've really done a tremendous job with growing your business. The most important question here, how do people contact you? How do they get in touch with you?
I'll have a few websites. So for the assisted stretching business, the website is Stretch Therapy HTX. And that's also the Instagram name. So like I said, I spend most of my time on Instagram, so a person could add me and then message me on there if they want. And my training, I guess, business Instagram is Brandon K. Cole. The stretching one is Stretch Therapy HTX, so they can add me or contact me on either one. I also have a website for the online workout program, which is definedonline.com, and it's DEFIND online.com. And then the diet program is leaneronline.com. So a person could go to either one of those websites, message me on there, look at all the information of the programs, or just get in touch with me at Instagram. That's the easiest.
You were saying that's your most favorite app, so easiest way would be Instagram. But I'll make sure to put everything in the show notes of all your websites and your contact information. So if somebody's interested in starting with Brandon, that they'll be able to contact you without an issue. I wanted to. Is there anything that I've missed, Brandon? Anything else that you want to talk about?
I guess off camera we could talk about all of our stupid exploits that we did when we were young and dumb, but probably nothing on camera. No, I think you got it all.
All right, Brandon. I wanted to thank you very much for joining me, for getting on this inaugural Skype Zoom meeting. Again, this is Miguel Rosario with Rosario Real Estate, powered by Century 21 Top Realty. I'm here for all your real estate needs. If you know anybody who wants to join or one that could benefit from being interviewed, please send them my way and I'll get in contact with them. Thank y'all for watching. Brandon, thank you very much for doing this. And let's all get fit and healthy, and let's give Brandon a call so he can help us out. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Take care.
All right.